Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining today. My name is Audrey. I'm the owner and founder of Power in Breath Yoga. And today's class is a 15-minute sort of morning routine to help get your day started with some gentle stretching. So let's go ahead and we'll start in a standing posture. Make your way there. If you don't already have a couple of blocks handy, you can grab your yoga blocks, make sure they're nearby. Once you're ready, make your way to a standing posture. Maybe bringing the feet to touch. Maybe the toes touch and the heels are separated, arms by your side. If it feels stable here, maybe you close the eyes. If that feels wobbly, you can soften the gaze. Just look at the floor a few feet ahead of you. You could also take your feet a little bit wider if the balance feels really unstable here. So take just a couple of breaths to settle in nice and slow, in through the nose, out through the nose. Two more just like that. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Last one. Full breath in. And a long breath out. At the end of that exhale, you could flutter the eyes open if they were closed. Go ahead and take your feet hips width distance here. It could be even a little bit wider. We'll come right into a forward fold, but make it nice and gentle. So turn it into a ragdoll. You can bend the knees. You could hold opposite elbows. The spine can be round. Head can be heavy. You might stay here in stillness. If it feels good, you might sway a little side to side. Just checking out how the spine is feeling, how the backs of the legs are feeling. And then settle into stillness in that ragdoll. Release your hands. Maybe they come towards your shins. Maybe they come towards the floor. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Find straight legs and a straight spine. Your hands can be anywhere along the legs for support. Once you're there, maybe bring the feet a little closer so that they're hips width. And then exhale, fold forward again and soften the knees. Use the next inhale, come all the way up to stand. Lift the arms, maybe just a little back bend. Exhale, bring your arms by your sides. All right, take another breath in, lift the arms up, find a side bend. So you're going to take a hold of the left wrist, maybe wiggle and jiggle a little bit here, and then eventually take that side bend to the right. Try to keep the arms straight, try to have nice, strong, straight legs. Enjoy that side stretch in the left side of the body. Take an inhale, bring yourself back through center and switch sides. Switch the grip of the wrist. Take that side bend to the left. Good. Inhale, come through center. Release the arms. Come back into that forward fold. We're not going to stay as long. You can bend your knees if you need to here. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Straight legs, straight spine, chest forward. Exhale, hold in. Soften through the knees a little bit here. Come all the way up to stand. Lift the arms, maybe a little back bend. And then exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. We're going to take a little bit of a standing back bend here. Start to warm up the spine a little bit. You can take your feet wider here. Maybe it's the distance of the mat. Maybe it's a little bit more narrow than that. Hands can come to your low back. Once your hands are there, fingertips point down. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Start to press the hips forward. Try to keep your legs straight and strong. So hips press forward, straight and strong legs. Maybe start to lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Maybe you're looking towards the ceiling. Maybe it feels okay for the head and neck to start to look back. Take another breath here. Use those nice strong legs to come all the way back to standing head and neck lift last. And then bring your feet again to about that hips width distance. Start to round through the spine, come into that forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold it. Use the breath in, come all the way up to stand, lift the arms, maybe that back bend. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Good. Bring your hands behind the back. You can interlace the fingers. Feet are still about hips width distance. Take a moment here, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the chest. And then exhale, fold forward, reach those arms overhead. Doesn't matter how high they lift, how far forward they reach, but you can be soft in the knees here. Focus on the shoulders and the chest and the upper back. Don't worry so much about the hamstring stretch, that stretch in the back of your legs. Stay in the fold, but release the bind. So bring the hands towards the mat. Maybe the feet are hips width distance here. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Flat back, straight spine. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe now is a good time for a block. You're going to bring your right hand onto either a block, depends on what height you need here. Just make sure that right palm is planted on something, might even be the floor. Bend into the right knee. So the hand is in the center of the feet. The right knee is bent. You're going to lift and lengthen. Start to twist to your left. Left arm lifts. Maybe look to the left fingertips. And then slowly come out of the twist. You can straighten out the right leg. Bring the left hand either onto the block or the floor. Bend the left knee. Start to twist open to the right. Maybe look to the right fingertips. Stay for a few breaths. Slowly come back through center. Let's do that one more time. Right hand on the block, right knee bends, twist to the left. Left arm can lift or left hand can come behind the head. Start to bring the left elbow a little more behind you. And straighten out the arm. Come back through center, switch sides. Left knee is bent, right arm is lifted. Maybe bring that hand behind the head. Stay for another breath. And then straighten the arm. Come back through center. You can move the block off to the side for just a moment. Take your feet the distance of the mat. Let the toes turn out about 45 degrees. We're going to come into a squat here. It's an early squat. See how it feels. You might sort of wiggle and jiggle your way into it. Eventually settle into stillness here. If for you in the squat, the heels are lifted, blocks under the heels are a great option. Blocks under the hips are a great option. Something that allows you to sort of rest and settle in and not spend so much effort supporting yourself and engaging the muscles to keep everything lifted. So try to find a softening. Stay for another breath. Okay. Slowly release. Hands can come down. If there's props underneath the heels or the hips, you can remove those. And then make your way to a tabletop position. So come to all fours. Just take a few moments to explore here. So maybe finding some cat cows, waking up the spine a little bit, maybe swaying. hips side to side. Maybe you find some full body circles. If you're taking those circles, be sure to go both directions. Maybe finding your way to a child's pose for a moment. Just check out how the hips feel here, especially after we did that squat. When you're ready, roll forward. Come all the way back to tabletop. Maybe here's a chance where you want to use those blocks again. So blocks can be under the hands. You're going to bring your right foot forward. Maybe even walk the left knee back just a little bit. So coming into this lunge, you can have the hands on the blocks. Maybe start to press your hips forward. Maybe you like to have a little movement here in this first hip stretch. So maybe you stay here for a breath and then rock back and find a hamstring stretch. Maybe you do that a few times, sort of flossing in and out. If you prefer stillness, you could stay in the lunge or you could hang out in that hamstring stretch, just whatever your body is sort of asking for right now. What do your legs need? What do your hips need? What does your spine need? Starting to back off of either that lunge or the hamstring stretch. Maybe start to play around with opening up that right hip. Maybe you press the right knee to the right. You can come onto the edge of that right foot. Good. Spend longer there if you want to, or head into the quad stretch. We can bend the left knee, reach the right hand for that left foot. Start to bring the heel closer to the hip. Stay here for a few breaths. Linger as long as you'd like. Eventually, switching sides. Take your time. Bring the right knee back. Bring the left foot forward. Same thing on this side. So if you stayed in the lunge in stillness, you could stay here for 5 to 7 breaths. If you liked that flossing, you can go ahead and start to find that movement. So maybe you're still holding this lunge. Maybe you're starting to rock a little bit forward and back, checking out the left hamstring. Starting to find a little motion in the hips and joints. If you're not already there, hang out in that hamstring stretch for just a few breaths. And then slowly come back forward, come to that lunge. Set up that sort of external hip rotation here. So left hand inside of the left thigh. You can open that left knee to the left. You can be on the outer edge of the left foot. And then slowly bring it back through center. Set up that quad stretch here. So bending the right knee, reach the left hand for the foot this time. So opposite hand, opposite leg. Bring the heel towards the hip. Take a few breaths. Slowly start to back off. Take your time. We're going to come right back into that squat. So maybe move the blocks to the side for a moment. Bring the left foot to the outer edge of the mat. Toes can turn out. Tuck the back toes, pick up the back knee. You might step the right foot to the right edge of the mat or get to this shape in whatever way makes sense for you, but we'll stay for a few breaths again. So make sure you have those props set up either under the heels or under the hips if you need them. And then stay for about 3 more breaths, nice and slow, in and out through the nose. At the end of your third breath, lower the hands down. Start to lift the hips, maybe bring the feet to about hips with distance. Find that halfway lift. Straight legs, straight spine, chest forward. Exhale, fold forward. You can be soft in the knees. Use the breath in. Come all the way up to stand. Lift the arms, maybe a little back bend. Exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. We'll stay here. We'll end standing. So again, feet can be hips with distance. Maybe the heels are together, the toes are together, whatever feels stable. Closing the eyes. Take 3 more breaths together. Inhale slowly. Exhale completely. 2 more just like that. Big, long inhale. Slowly exhale. Last one. Breath in. And a breath out. Bring your hands to your heart center. The eyes were closed. You can flutter them open. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your practice today. I hope to see you again on your mat soon.